Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Come on in. While you're coming in, let me just type in Instagram, my phone number. Um, Say hello when you come in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Just type in my phone number right here, but let me know where you're tuning in from. If this is your first time, let me know so I can give you a shout out. Hi, Facebook. Hi, Instagram. And hi, YouTube. Sorry, guys. Give me a second to type this in. So, um, I am a little under the weather today, but I'm going to try and push through. Okay, so there we go. Let me just pin my number. Okay. Um, all right. So, good morning, everyone. Let me formally introduce myself. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer and I represent clients all over the United States, internationally, with their family immigration matters, humanitarian based cases. As far as it relates to immigration, I can assist you. My number is pinned on Instagram, so it's 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 404-333-8751 for us to schedule you for a consultation. Okay, so where's everyone tuning in from? I'm personally in Atlanta, Georgia. We have another office in the suburbs of Orlando, Florida. But again, your location doesn't matter. We take cases in all 50 states. Immigration is a federal law, and we have systems that allow us to do that easily for our clients. Today, I really want to get into frequently asked questions. So feel free to just jump in and start asking your questions. Good morning, McDaniels. Good morning, Nook Basin. Somebody from Massachusetts. Hello, good morning. And from Colorado, I am Vitsubi, says this is his first time tuning in. Welcome. Fargo, North Dakota. Welcome. Ajeka from Baltimore. Welcome. New Jersey, first timer from Illinois. Welcome all of these first timers today. Sorry guys, I am like pushing through. I am so under the weather today. But okay, so Cranberry says, good morning. How long does it take to get a work authorization after it's been approved? Usually it could take anywhere about a week or 2 weeks. If you don't get it after that, then you want to definitely make sure that your address on file is actually correct, or maybe the mail is missing. So typically what happens is most of the time your approval work permit will actually go into production before, like a day or two before they actually tell you that it's been approved. And so once it's finished production, like they actually make the card and they will send it out to you. So about 2 weeks. Capricorn says, do we talk to you directly when you call? Well, when you call, you speak with, some of our receptionists to schedule a full consultation, or a video consultation, or an in-person consultation, and you will be able to schedule a consult directly with me or with any of my other associate attorneys, if you don't want to wait for maybe my availability, or you just need, the earliest availability. But even if you don't schedule a consult with me and you schedule with one of my other associate attorneys, they're just as good. Ultimately, any case that we take here, I handle the overall case. Even if I might have my associates working with you, nothing leaves this office without my own input, without my own review, without my own analysis and all of that. So you're getting the effects of working for the firm when you hire us. Cheryl Lafayette says, where are you from? I am, I was born in the United States, but I'm from Nigeria. And I spent a good part of my life in Nigeria. So what's the wait time for VAWA to get a green card? Well, it depends. VAWA approval in and of itself could take anywhere from 24 months. Well, let me just say 18 months to 30 months. Most people will fall between 24 months to 27 months. And this is assuming that you don't have any RFEs, any NOIDs, or anything else. Once that happens, they usually will schedule you or bypass you for a green card interview. Right now, I would say that we're seeing more bypasses, or not bypasses. We're seeing more of those happening around like 4 to 6 months. So you could fall somewhere in that range. Good morning, Eleanor. Good morning, Daria and Tati. Bipolar Neon, good morning, Lloyd. Hi, Massachusetts. Massachusetts repping today. 21 Kim, good morning. First time. Naima on YouTube. Good morning. What other questions do you guys have for me? So this person says, good morning. Oh, see, someone here, One Finesse Foodie says, Jordan is amazing. I'll let them know. Everybody here is amazing. As long as you're with the Chidoli Law Firm, you're in good hands. Okay. So Earl says, good morning. I have a green card. I got a green card last May 2022. When can I apply for my 10-year green card? Okay, so you have a 2-year conditional green card is what you're saying. So if you've got a 2-year conditional green card, you can apply as early as 90 days before the expiration date. So for you, that would be 90 days before May 2024. So doing my math, going back April, March, sometime in February, whatever date that it's equivalent to 90 days, sometime in February 2024, you should be applying to remove conditions on your green card. Is it best to file I-360 before an interview if scheduled or after? I absolutely don't understand that question. Before what interview are you talking about? I need more clarification. Is it always guaranteed to receive a 10-year green card after divorce? No. Absolutely not. You only get a 10-year green card if you're talking about conditional green cards only if you have a good faith marriage. That is the only thing that's going to give you a 10-year green card. A divorce is just you asking for a waiver of joint filing. But ultimately, whether you have a divorce, whether you have extreme cruelty, what USCIS is good faith marriage. Your marriage has to be a true marriage. A lot of times when I tell people, you got to have a bona fide marriage, you got to have a good faith marriage, one of the things they always say is, oh yeah, we have our marriage certificate. A marriage certificate means that you have a legal marriage. It doesn't mean good faith. Good faith is that truly you intended to enter this marriage, not for immigration, even though immigration is an added benefit, but truly because you love this person, you want your marriage to work, and unfortunately for you, it didn't work. Cleopatra is asking, good morning, Attorney Aisha, what does FOIA mean? FOIA is FOIA, which stands for Freedom of Information Act. It just means that you have the freedom to request your records, basically, the records that the government has on you. So like, for instance, if you're someone who has filed like different immigration applications, and let's say you're moving from one lawyer to the other lawyer or whatever, it's a good idea to get your FOIA because then it can tell whoever your case is moving on to, basically what they need to know. It can tell your immigration story. A lot of people don't know much about the immigration journey. I can't tell you the amount of times that, I would say to someone, well, what did you file before? Well, did you get a receipt? When did you file? And they have no idea. Well, okay, do you have your documents so we can look at it? And they don't have it. You should have that. You should have that so you know what is going on in your case because this is your life. Okay, let me see what other questions we have. Okay, so the real Nanak says, in January of 2021, I filed for K1 and I haven't heard anything except they've received the paperwork. How do I go about seeing what next steps are? So if you're still on the I-129F stage, I think you definitely have past processing time. So the first thing you should do is try and do an e-service request. You can do that either online or you can call them on the phone. Personally, I think it's easier to do it online just because you don't have to wait 30 minutes to get a human being on the phone. And they can at least give you some status updates of what's going on with the case. And, if they still are not able to give you, I would suggest congressional assistance to assist you with that. So retired Ms. Sherman says, I got my VAWA approval in May 2022. Still no green card interview date or interview waiver. It's coming, so just try and be patient. I posted yesterday about our client that got her VAWA approved yesterday. She got no, her VAWA, her 10-year green card approved. That particular client got her VAWA approved in April of last year. So whenever we give you timelines, it's just an estimate of where majority of people will fall. It's not a guarantee that will happen on that exact date. Because you got to remember, it's human beings that are actually processing these cases. So nobody can actually give you an exact date until it actually happens. But just try and be patient. It's coming. I mean, the biggest thing is you got that VAWA approval. So if you don't have anything else that's crazy in your record, you have a better chance of, you getting that green card. So Fine Dine Eatery on YouTube says, good morning. How long after receiving a prima facie do you get a VAWA approval or work permit? With the VAWA approval, again, timeline is anywhere from 18 months to 30 months. It depends on your application, what's included in your application. Most people fall between 24 months to about 28 months. As far as a work permit, if you filed for a work permit as part of an adjustment of status application with your VAWA, most likely you'll get your work permit somewhere between like 4 to 9 months. Most people fall within 4 to 6 months. Again, because you don't fall in this or before this or after this doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. These are just estimates of where majority of the people fall. Okay, let's see what other questions I have. Sadabam, good morning. You look beautiful. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Sean 1705 says, why are they asking for medical before interviews? That is a really good question. So right now, one of the things that you're doing to try to reduce some of this backlog, if you guys remember during the pandemic, they had to cancel interviews, a lot of interviews because of the pandemic. And so because of that, the backlog basically kind of multiplied as to what's being processed. So the rule now is that, excuse me, guys. The rule now is that if somebody's case is likely more true than not, and they have all the things that they need to make an approval, they should make the approval. And if, let's say they want to make the approval and you don't have your medical, they need your medical to make an approval. So if your medical is the only thing that they're asking for, it's a good sign. It means that more likely than not, you will get your green card approved without an interview. And let me tell you something, if you can bypass an interview, that's great. Guys, hold on one second. Let me drink my water. Yo, I am struggling today. I have, I don't know if this is seasonal allergies. I'm congested. I have a headache. I don't even know how I'm sitting straight today, but I'm pushing through for you guys. I'm pushing through. Okay. Can I file for VAWA while in removal proceedings? Yes, if you're eligible. Good morning. Can you travel while waiting for your 10-year green card? You should be able to, as long as you don't have any removal proceedings pending. I know a few people, I mentioned this before and I said you should be able to, and a few people said, well, why can't you say yes or no? Well, I can't say yes or no because that doesn't make sense. I don't know you and I don't know your immigration history. So I can't tell you something when you're not my client. I don't know your immigration history. I can only say that people who don't have a removal case, have a bona fide marriage, submitted the removal of conditions applications when they were meant to, you should have no problem traveling back and forth. And if anything, make sure you just have all your documents so that if they call you to secondary, because they do call people to secondary, and immigration is doing this thing. I haven't seen it happen too much, but it is happening. So just so that you guys know, and I truly try not to be an alarmist attorney. I know that some lawyers, sometimes what they say can be scary. I truly try to be all sunshine and bubbles and give you the best case scenario. But sometimes, what USCIS is doing is when you come into the airport now, Customs and Border is literally accosting people trying to determine if your marriage is a legitimate marriage or not. This is if you have a conditional green card. But like, I say to all my own personal clients, as long as you take all your documentation, they can accost you all you want, stand your ground, and they will let you enter as long as you have that pending case. Okay? Carol says, do you do denial cases? Well, it depends. It depends on why they were denied and what kind of case it is. Yeah, we've definitely appealed many cases, but we don't just appeal because we feel like appealing a denial. You actually have to have something that was incorrectly decided, or you have to have new supported evidence that allows us to present that argument. We can't just do arbitrary denials, and it also depends on what it is. Is it it just depends. I have to see it to decide whether or not the firm is going to take it or not. So Katie says, how long after VAW approval before I get my green card? I've talked about it about 3 times today. So just save this live and scroll back in and look for it. Okay. Kwame says, after submitting an RFE, my portal says 5 months to make a decision. What does this mean? Is it decision for the green card approval or denied or for interview? Thank you. I don't know, because I don't know what you submitted your RFE for. I don't know what stage of the process you are in, because that would tell, like, what was your RFE asking, like, what kind of case is it? Like, so there are just too many variables, to do that. All right, let me see what else I can answer. Someone says, I've been married for 2 years. Will I qualify for a 10-year visa? Well, I guess I don't know whether you're in the United States or outside of the United States. If you're using the word visa, I'm going to assume that you're outside the United States. If you've been married for 2 years and you have a U.S. citizen or a green card holder spouse that's petitioning for you, then you will your immigrant visa, your immigrant spousal visa, which basically is a green card. It's just what they call it, outside the U.S., and that will convert when you come into the U.S. You will get a 10-year. As long as at the time of your approval you've been married for more than 2 years. I don't handle asylum cases, Joel, so I'm not going to answer a question on that. This person says, I submitted my adjustment application since April 2022, and up till now, I've now received a work permit and an EAD. By the way, an EAD and a work permit are the same things. EAD just means employment authorization document. You remember earlier I just said it could take anywhere from like 4 to 9 months, and because I say 4 to 9 months doesn't mean everyone is going to fall in that category. If you did yours in April, so you're about 9.5 months in the process, so you could very well be getting it maybe even after this live. You never know. Chin Chin James said, is there any way to get you straight without marriage? Yeah, there are many other categories. It just depends on what your status is here in the United States, how you entered into the United States. If you have other humanitarian relief that might be available to you. Some people qualify for T visas. They qualify for U visas without marriage. Some people qualify for employment-based visas, investment visas, student visas that lead to H-1B. So there are other ways. You just have to be eligible for them. Okay, I filed VAWA since 2019. I had an RFE, which was met. I've been renewing my EAD, but still waiting my approval, and this process has gone past 3 years. I requested a FOIA, but no decision has been made. Yeah, at this point, the FOIA is not really going to do anything for you. You want to do a status inquiry with USCIS. Since you're VAWA, you can't call on the phone. Your attorney can probably do an attorney hotline email, or you can send a letter just checking on the status of your case. Can you file for I-131 after you submit your adjustment application? Yeah, you can. King Cookie says, I just sent you a private message in your DM. When you get a chance, can you look at it? I get hundreds, believe it or not, hundreds of DMs in a day. There's no way I can get through everyone's messages or any way that I would even remember your name to look at it. So if you want to schedule a consult, it's easy. And literally, even though I have there no DMs, everybody still sends DMs. So it's literally muted from my phone. Because I have to work, clients are paying me to work. So I have to do the work. I can't just be on DMs on social media because I won't get any work done. So if you're serious about your immigration and you want to schedule a consult, it's a good idea to call us. Number again, for those of you who didn't get it, it's 407-995-6567. Davis says, good morning, my best lawyer. Thank God for using you to change people's lives. You're welcome. Hi, Davis. How are you? So Armando, why is this not clicking? Armando says, I applied for my citizenship and I did my interview on November 7th. The officer told me I passed the civics and the English test, but she couldn't make a decision as my file is large and was not reviewed. So she needs time. Today marks 3 months. Well, you have about 6 months. If you still haven't heard anything after 6 months, then you definitely want to do a status inquiry to see when a decision will be made. All right, guys, I'm going to be heading out, so my voice is just... can I travel with advancce parole multiple times? Yes, you can, as long as you completed your application for advanced parole stating that you have more than one travel. Good morning. I submitted an I-485 for my kids based on VAWA approval. They sent it back to resubmit updated form. Sent back 12/29/2022. No receipt yet. I guess I don't know how you sent it. Did you put filing fees? The correct filing fees? Did you how did you? If you send it with a check, you can just check your check to see if they've cashed it. If you send money or you'll wait. Generally, if anything fee related that you have to pay USCIS a fee, if there is a long delay, there's a chance that they're returning it back for some reason. It also depends on how old your children are, because the fees are different depending on whether they're under 14, over 14, whether they filed with you or whether they didn't file with you. So those are all the different things that come with it. Kwame says, my case is a marriage-based case. My spouse responded to an RFE for more evidence of financial support in January after my portal. Okay, so yeah, so with you, they're not going to, so I don't know if you submitted a medical, if you submitted a medical, maybe they have enough to make a decision. Otherwise, they will schedule you for an interview. Okay. Ago Gagnoa says, is it required to separately file for work authorization after filing I-130? So you're not eligible for work authorization with the I-130. You're eligible for work authorization with the I-485. So if you file in an I-485 with an I-130, then you can add your work authorization at the same time. You can also... if you don't add your work authorization when you file it, you can also do it after. You don't have to file it at the same time. Of course, a lot of people do it at the same time because they want to be able to work. Okay. Goddess says, thank you for touching people's lives, superhero. Oh, you're welcome. Okay, let me take some questions in the question box. My fingers. Someone is asking me, can you break down the green card process? Unfortunately, I can't, because there are just too many variables. If you have something that actually you qualify for, you can schedule a consult and then we can talk about your eligibility. There are just so many avenues to a green card, I wouldn't be able to break that down in a live, or at least not one that is ending in the next minute. What happens next if you receive a withdrawn letter from I-130? Well, a withdrawn letter means that, the person that was petitioning for that I-130 has withdrawn from your case. What happens next depends on your immigration history or the case history. Sometimes you can be referred for a deportation proceedings. Sometimes nothing happens. You just get a denial letter. It all depends. What is the reason they withdrew from your case? Is it marriage fraud? Were they forced into withdrawing due to their marriage fraud, or did they admit that there was marriage fraud? There's just so much to it. Or are you in an abusive relationship where the person did that to spite you? So it's hard to really say. Filed removal of conditions in January of 2021, 90 days before expired. I got a 24-month extension. Will I still be given the? Yeah. So those should be forthcoming. Typically, when they make these rules expanding the extension of those green cards, the new receipts usually come, I want to say about a month or 2 months afterwards. They just announced this literally just like 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago. So just give them some time to process that extension. So this person says, I have a 10-year green card. Can I apply for my daughter from Jamaica? Well, the answer depends on your daughter's age and marital status. So if your daughter is married, you can file for her as a green card holder. But if she's unmarried, you can. And, you're probably looking at a 5-year wait to get the I-130 approved and, visa availability. Okay, one more question. I applied for citizenship and did the interview. The officer told me I passed the English and history test, but she couldn't make a decision as my file was not reviewed. This was from November. Is this the same person? Is this Armando? I just answered this question literally. So just, when I finish and save this live, go back and rewatch it. Okay. So good morning. How long does it usually take to schedule an interview after replying to an RFE for medical? If you reply to an RFE for medical, most likely you will not be scheduled for an interview. Don't quote me on this, but majority of the times right now, you will not be scheduled for an interview. I would say give it about 2 months. That's what we're seeing on average for them to let you know if you're approved or not. Somebody's asking how to look about a waiver. I don't know if you're asking me if we do waivers. If that's what you're asking me, the answer is yes. When is the best time to get the medical done after submitting the adjustment of status? If you already submitted the adjustment of status, I would say just wait till you get an RFE for it, because you've already submitted it. If you've not submitted it, then send it with your adjustment of status application. All right, guys, I do have to jump off. It was nice chit-chatting. If I didn't answer your question, call me, schedule a consult, with myself, Jordan or Chidera. Any of us would be really happy to help you. My number is 407-995-6567. WhatsApp is 404-333-8751. Have a good day, guys. Bye.